Welcome everybody, Liran Koren, real estate investor here in Florida, and today I want to talk to you about the market condition. It's June 25th and the last few months have been horrible in terms of inventory. So what's going on in the market and how to find deals in this crazy market coming up right now. In the last few months, since COVID-19, the coronavirus, and all the issues that we have with traveling, etc., the court is closed, there are no evictions, there are no foreclosures, there are no problems. Problems are not coming to the market, Usually when you want to get a deal, that deal involves some sort of problem. Either it's a pre-foreclosure, or either it's a foreclosure, or either it's somebody has a lien against him for whatever reason, or city code violation. But right now, nothing is really happening in the back scene, basically, behind the scenes. Nothing really happens. So there is no inventory piling up and coming to the market, and that creates some sort of a frozen market, I call it, because you have inventory that is on the market, on the MLS, and you don't have any inventory coming to the market from all sort of distress situation. That's exactly what I'm trying to say. The distressed area is almost non-existent right now, even though the reports are saying that every one hotel out of 4 right now is in delinquency, and you have about 4 million people that are late in their mortgage payments, and you have all these issues that are piling up back in the scene, but you don't really see it in the market, so it's very tricky. So I call it the real estate market of today's market is some sort of a catch-22 real estate market, and it's very deceiving. You gotta understand that it actually creates the opposite effect. Why is it creating the opposite effect? Because the market is thirsty. If you look at the market, and I looked at several counties, Broward County, Palm Beach County, Doval County in Florida, and if you look at the market, you're not gonna see any huge amount of short sales, you're not gonna see huge amount of REOs, you're not gonna see motivated sellers that are listing the price below market price. And the reason for that, because the market, the MLS, is shrinking. Why is it shrinking? Because there is no inventory coming up to the MLS, there is only inventory going out of the MLS. So everybody is looking for the best deal they can find on the market, and then they're gonna move on to the next best deal and to the next best deal, and eventually they're gonna have to overpay. And that's what's happening right now. It's people are overpaying for properties for the reason that there aren't enough inventory to kind of like comply with the demand that exists. Real estate investors still want to buy income producing properties, but the fact is that there is not a lot going on. I see a lot of wholesalers, I see a lot of people who have their investors and they cannot find the deal. So let me explain you why it's so hard to find the deal today, and let me show you what's happening behind the scenes. You gotta remember that even in 2009, 2008, the collapse did not occur in one day. It was piling up in the background. And prices were going up, right? In 2005, 2006, 2007, even 2008. Prices were going up, but problems were still, were happening behind the scene, but nobody was even, paying attention to it until everything came at one shot. And there was just too much inventory to buy, and it was everybody went underwater. So that is exactly my point right now. My point is that problems are piling up behind the scenes, and we are not able to see them because there is no filing, no foreclosure. So we don't really know what's going on and what's gonna be. But right now, when we look at the market, I can tell you that there aren't as many properties coming from all sort of arenas into the MLS. And now we're gonna take you right now to my computer. Let's jump into my computer and let's look. We're gonna do some sort of an analysis between the foreclosures today and foreclosure last year's. And I'm gonna try to teach you and show you how you can actually find a deal, even in today's market, how you can find a deal and overcome your competition. And not less importantly, how are you going to prepare for the future, right? Right now, if you don't find the inventory and everything is going well for sellers, doesn't mean, okay, it's not gonna change, and the market is not gonna be in your favor at some point. And that's what you should aim for. So okay, so I'm jumping into my computer right now, and I'm showing you the Broward County public records. This is where all the issues, liens, violation, deeds, mortgages, everything is being recorded here in that website. So I can search by document type, and the document type for foreclosures and pre-foreclosure, it's called list pendants. And if I'm gonna search the amount of foreclosure that happened the last 25 days, okay, let's say June 1st to June 25th, then we're gonna see we have only 145 foreclosures. I'm gonna get into the detail of those foreclosures. I'm gonna show you what the trend is and who is foreclosing, right? It's not foreclosures, but there's still people are foreclosing. And I'm gonna explain you the laws, and I'm explaining the opportunity as well here. And I'm also telling you what I think is gonna be in the future. We talked about HOA liens, we talked about HOA foreclosures. I think that's gonna pick up. I have a lot of movies discussing about it. It's not happening right now, but you know, I think that's gonna start picking up in the future. Another thing about association, they are foreclosing right now, okay? It's not like the banks. Association is a non-profit organization wanting to exercise their claim for the benefit of the community. It's much different from a bank that actually gave a loan and want to make money or evict somebody as a result of that. So the laws are a bit different for HOA and banks. That's one thing I want to tell you. And back to my screen right now, showing you the foreclosures, the pre-foreclosure from 1st of June until the 25th. And as you can see, it's only 145 foreclosures. And we're gonna get into the parties and who's foreclosing, and I'm gonna explain you what we are seeing over here. But the idea here is just wanna look at the numbers here. Just wanna look at the 145 foreclosure, which is nothing for a county like Broward County with 700,000 records in that county, 700 type of properties. And another thing I wanna point out is, if we go ahead and check the last year, let's compare it to the last year foreclosures, and we're gonna see the trend. If we take 2019 in exactly same time frame, we're gonna get 390 foreclosures. So 3 times more, 4 times more foreclosures than what we are getting today. So let's jump into those foreclosures. What type of foreclosure are happening today? What is the opportunity? So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna open my Excel spreadsheet. I think I've shown it in one of my clips, and I'm gonna show you right now how I use it for the sake of understanding market trend, and also for the sake of purchasing properties. And I'm gonna also show you how am I making offers, how am I lining up my products using the data that I'm retrieving from my Excel spreadsheet. So basically, I'm gonna get all the data that you saw here, all these case numbers, the defendants, the time that the list pendants was filed, and I'm gonna manipulate that data into getting the property address and other information that I need linked to the property appraisal, and other information that I need in order to get an idea of what is the underlying asset and the opportunity behind those cases. So I'm gonna run a search right now, let's say from May 1st to June 25th up to today. And the way I do it is just click import list pendants. That's my first button. As you can see, everything is starting to come up here. All the cases that you saw on my link on the website. Everything is coming here. And I have the case, I have the document number. If I click here, that's gonna give me a direct search, direct link to the list pendants file. And usually I can even see the property address here. As you can see, this is the property address. And I have the case number here, CSE 207235, that I can get inside the complaint and read it. And I'm gonna show you how I do it for one of the cases. So back to me retrieving the data over here. As you can see, let's talk about the data. Let's talk about the foreclosure. Let's talk about the trend. Let's see what's happening, right? It's not a lot of opportunities, but there are some filings happening. So what are we seeing here? Let's kind of understand it, okay? So what am I seeing? The first thing that I'm seeing is that many associations are filing lawsuits. So associations are still, as you can see, most of the foreclosures over here is actually associations. So you have an association here suing somebody here, an association here suing somebody here, another association, another association, another association. You see how many associations? Then you have somebody here suing somebody here, probably divorce or some other case, another association, another association, another association, and so on and so on. So associations are filing foreclosures, and they don't really wait like the banks. The banks are stuck, but the HOA is coming. So the HOA is going to be faster. That's going to be the idea here. The HOA is going to actually be faster than the bank, and they're going to try to take the property. So that's why it's going to be an opportunity to buy an HOA foreclosure, because they're going to come fast. The foreclosure is faster, and you might get a wave of HOA foreclosures. And I'm showing you in my other videos how I buy HOAs for $10,000 or $5,000, and I rent it out, and I fight the lender for many years renting that property. And hopefully that for HOA foreclosure is going to pick up. So I'm going to do more case studies and more real-time live purchases of those liens to show you my formula and how I profit from it. So as you can see, there is a bank here that start foreclosure actually. So some banks are foreclosing even though they're not allowed, or they tell them not to. I have seen some banks starting to foreclose, and I'm actually right now I'm working on 2 deals. Okay, even during the Corona time and even during the no foreclosure or pre-foreclosure time, I'm actually working on 2 commercial deals right now that I found before almost anybody else. And I'm just going to walk you through that list. As you can see, association is foreclosing, association. So a lot of associations are foreclosing. As you can see, most of the foreclosures are association. That's going to be the next trend of foreclosures, and that's going to pick up. And if you can see one of the cases that I was actually looking at, you can see here this case over here. This is actually a property that I'm bidding on. It's actually a property that I found the information that I wanted. I communicated my message, and I'm working on actually executing that deal. And I'm going to walk you through that deal. I'm going to walk you through how I started initiating the line of communication with the relevant parties. And what am I saying, right? What is this foreclosure? You see APG International Products Group Inc. foreclosing on this company or whatever. So when I saw it defended that it's an LLC with a 4011 to up to 4090, I kind of assumed that this property is actually commercial property, right? It looks like in multiple units. So what I did is I went into that case. As you can see, I have the case number here, which is the foreclosure case number. And what I can do with it basically is I can actually go inside the case itself and read the complaint. I can check what the property is, I can check how much it's worth, I can check who is the attorney, and I can get the information that I need. So I start doing the due diligence. The first thing I do, step number 1, is I want to know what is the asset. I want to know if there is equity. I want to know if I'm interested in that product. And first of all, that's what I'm checking. I'm checking to see the underlying asset, and then I'm checking the debt. What is the debt against that underlying asset that I'm interested in? So as you can see, this foreclosure, okay, another few points I want to make. This foreclosure was filed on May 20. And I was the first one to actually email that attorney telling him, hey, I'm interested in that property, and I'm going to show you how I did it and why it's so important. And again, every movie and every niche I'm presenting, I'm explaining that you need to be the first in the door, and then you have to have some sort of value to convey to the other side in order to create a win-win situation where you can actually execute the deal. And that's very, 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 very important for your success and for creating businesses in general, not just focusing on the deal, obviously. So as you can see, I got information from the docket. I have the attorney information over here. His name is Miguel. And I can see the lawsuits that is being filed, and only being filed recently. The tenants have been served only like 2 weeks ago. By the way, I went to this property and I saw it. I'm going to show you this property as well. But I can see the tenants were served. But another thing that I have is the foreclosure complaint here. So I can even open the foreclosure complaint and I can get the story of the problem. And that's one of the most important things for me when I'm investing in off-market, in pre-foreclosure, in foreclosure, or at auctions. or any other scenario where I buy as is or without title insurance, okay, I'm gonna have to go and understand the legal side of it. If you don't understand that, you should take an attorney, you should take a title attorney, do title search, okay, and spend money to understand what you're bidding on instead of losing your principal or making a mistake. So as you can see here, okay, I can see that there is 18 units here that are being sold, and I can read the complaint, and I can see the defendant as default, he took a mortgage, unknown tenants from unit 1 to 18. There is a $3 million on the note that was given as a credit line, blah, 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 blah. And then right now they are owed about $694,000 on those 18 parcels, right, that attached to the property. So I'm looking right now at the pre-foreclosure, and the lender is trying to exercise the claim. Okay, the borrower did not pay them, and they are foreclosing on 18 units. This is a commercial foreclosure, okay, on 18 units on the shopping plaza. And I'm gonna show you the asset as well. But the idea I'm trying to convey right now by looking at the information is that you can get the property address, you can get the attorney, and you can get the story. And it's up to you how you want to actually bring your message. What do you want to do with it? How you want to manipulate this information for your favor. So how do you approach it? Okay, what do you do? As you can see also here in the complaint, you have even the borrower's address, right? You have where they live. Another thing I do, okay, this is the process. First of all, I check in the asset, see if I'm interested in the asset. Then I'm checking the debt to see if there is equity. Then I'm checking who is the defendant, right? I want to see, okay, who is the owner, okay? Are they in problems? They have any sort of issue? Are they maybe absentee? They left the country? Are they going to fight? Are they not going to fight? That's very important, because my strategy here is actually to buy the note itself and then foreclose and get the property, because the lender does not have title right now. The lender has to foreclose. It's going to take them some time, and then they can get the property. And the reason I approach the lender so quickly is because I know that as soon as I approach them when they file the lawsuit, the more chances I have to buy the note, because once the lender get to the final stages, they don't want to sell it for cheap, and they did all the work and they want to profit from it, or they want to get title. So I'm giving the lender right now a great opportunity for him to buy the note from him at a discount, and I'm going to take over and I'm going to foreclose and I'm going to get that property, and I'm going to do my strategy, which is very, very specific. So buying notes is also another way for me to overcome my competition and get commercial properties before anybody else with equity. And with the opportunity of even, creating a huge success out of it, because of the strategy that I'm implementing here, that it's unconventional, right? I'm not buying a property on the market. I'm not buying a property right now based on cap rate. I'm buying a property based on equity and based on potential. And I want to make sure I buy it for cheap, because I want to minimize my risks. So let's go into the property itself. Let's go into the asset. They are foreclosing about 18 units here, and we want to know which units are they. You see, you have the legal description over here describing the units, B1, B9, B10, all this, but you want to know where it is. So I already did my searches, and I can go ahead and show it to you. And I can just search for the owner name here. All right. So here it is. It was very simple. We're talking about 18 parcels. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 8. Yes. 18 parcels here that are being foreclosed all at once. Okay. And as you can see, parcel number 1 is appraised in 166 by the county. So I have it as $200,000, only one parcel that it's worth. And if we go to the pictures, this is the plaza, and this is how it looked like. We are talking about those stores over here that you can see. This is the big plaza on the corner, and all the other ones are smaller ones. We're talking about the first floor, and they are also a part of an association. So there is 8 units that are going for foreclosure, and I got very excited about it. I said, oh my God, I want to buy it. They bought it in 2011 for about $1 million. And let me show you the map also, so you kind of get an idea of what's going on. And I'm gonna explain you exactly. So you see those two buildings basically. The first floor has got 18 units on both of them, and whoever bought all of those 18 units are now in default and is in the process of foreclosure. And if I wait, if the bank takes title and sell it in the market, that's gonna be the market price, and I don't wanna do that. So what did I do? I went to the plaintiff, okay, and I said, I wanna buy it. Very, very simple. I'm gonna show you my email. This is how I started. I started, hello Miguel, I am the co-founder of Luxury Property Care. One of our clients is showing interest in the property in which you are serving as a plaintiff, and I would like to make an offer. Now or when the opportunity presents itself. I will appreciate if you can let me know if the seller has any interest as such. And that was my message. Hi, you have a problem? Hi, I'm here. Let me know if we can make it happen. And this is how I started my conversation. I was in the first in line. As you can see, I sent it in June 2nd, about a week and a half after the foreclosure was filed. So I could, if I scan my cases every single day, like you can see over here, I cannot miss an opportunity because my data is automated. I know how to find the plaintiff, I know how to find the relevant parties, and I know how to convey my message, and I do it every single day. So even if I lose a property, at least I participated in it, at least I sent my offer, at least I communicate with the plaintiff. Maybe I got 8 no's, but maybe I'm gonna get 1 yes, and that's gonna change my everything as a whole, right? I might be spending money doing due diligence and going to see properties and whatnot, right? And doing title searches. You gotta spend, but then you're gonna get the deal. And once you're gonna get the deal, that's gonna give you enough budget to do marketing for a couple of years, especially because we're looking at real estate here. Once you convert one lead, everybody knows that, what does it mean? So when you have the data, when you're prepared, when you have a process, when you do it every single day, you don't miss opportunities and you can actually bring your value. As you can see, the response that I received, is my client interested to purchase the note? We do not own the property. So I obviously said, hello, yes, that's what I said. And then he said, thank you. The current principal balance is approximately $700,000, inclusive of interest, attorney fees. If your client has submitted the offer, I will take it back to the plaintiff. So only $700,000 is owed against about $2.4 million property. So my opportunity here is tremendous. I can buy the note and I can foreclose on the defendant, and at the same time I can increase my fees, increase my attorney fees, increase my judgment, collect them on the note. I'm gonna collect them, I'm gonna charge them all the interest and all the terms that are on the note as the note holder. I'm gonna have to sit on the note, but I'm gonna buy a note for $700,000. I'm gonna start foreclosing on them. When I get to the auction, I'm gonna be at $1.4 million judgment or $1.3 million judgment. So I already increased my note's value by $600,000. And why did I do that? I do it only because the collateral, okay, can actually allow it. If you have a property that it's worth $2 million and you come up with a judgment 1.4, anybody's gonna buy it. Anybody, I'm gonna buy it, right? You buy a property with equity. So when you have a $700,000 debt against a $2-3 million property, that's a great idea to own the note. Okay, because you're gonna use that note to create equity. Even though you don't hold the property, you don't own the property and you don't have title, okay, you actually become the lender. And you have a lien against that property. And you can increase your equity, okay, by charging late fees, attorney fees, and all the things you want to charge, interest, everything that has to do with the note. And once you finish with it, that $700,000 you invested become $1.4 million, and you can also buy that property as well. So this is what I'm trying to refer you guys, to tell you that there are some things, there are some opportunities that you have to be first, you have to be fast, you have to be capable, able, and you have to understand what you're doing, what you're buying, right? You're buying off market. Nobody does these kind of things. Nobody's buying 18 units notes just like that, but I do. I do because I know what I'm doing. I know the position that I get on the title, basically. I'm getting a very, very strong position on that landlord's title, and I can exercise my lien, and I can do a lot of things to eventually prevail and make money out of it. And I don't need to buy the property, I only need to buy the note, and that's exactly the offer that I'm already sending. I'm already working on it, and I received the documents from the attorneys, and I am actually, as you can see, I put one attorney. Actually, I put two attorneys. Okay, I put two attorneys to handle this communication with them, because listen, at the end of the day, I'd rather spend $500 or $600 on two attorneys to do the same exact task for me, make sure that I do it right, and to either to spend $700,000 and then say, oh my God, I missed something. What the fuck did I do? Why didn't I think about it? I don't want to be cheap and be rich. That just doesn't make sense. You can't be cheap and be rich. How is that possible? You're gonna have to acquire value, you have to acquire opinion, you have to appreciate other people's experience, especially if they did it many, many times, and ask for direction. If I don't know anything, I'm always happy to hire somebody else to give me the answer, because then I know I'm making a great decision and I'm gonna prevail. I'm doing it with comfort. Okay, the difference between real estate investor to somebody who invests in real estate is that a real estate investor knows what he's doing. He's doing it with fun. Okay, he's buying these properties knowing, oh, it's great, I already know this place, I already did it thousands of times. Okay, another one for my collection. And that's what I'm trying to convey to you guys. So even though in a market where you have almost zero options to buy properties right now, unless you buy it in the market, as you can see, there are ways you can be different. You can buy notes, you can communicate with the attorneys, and you can strategize it. And I already sent my offer. I'm not shy of giving you a real-time live study case that I'm working on. Most people are not gonna show you what they do. They're gonna tell you, give you a lot of tips and advices. But I want to show you exactly what I do. I want to show you exactly the processes that I take in order to create success. And it's very simple, guys. I haven't done a lot, really. I just sent an email. Wasn't even long. And I did it professionally, and I did it with my credentials. And if I needed to send proof of funds, I would send proof of funds. And if I need to send my company profile, I would send my company profile. Because it's very important that you look serious. Okay, it's not enough to be able to buy a property. You also want to be serious. Okay, and that's how you are considered as well when somebody on the other side choosing who they're going to execute the contract with. And I'm trying to be as more serious as I can when I present my offer, and that doesn't only mean the offer amount. So I give you another example. I'm also working on 96 units in Hillsborough County, and this is a different opportunity. This is an opportunity where the lender already got a final judgment, and they are very close to go to the auction and foreclose on that property. So I actually approached them by trying to buy the note or the judgment or the assignment of bid. So when it goes to the auction, whoever buys it, or if the plaintiffs take title bid, will go back to my company, not to the bank's company. Or maybe the bank can take title and then I can buy it from them. But let me show you basically the opportunity. And if you look at Duval County, there is a big product coming up for sale. I don't know when this video is going to be released, but still I want to show it to you. In July 8th, it's supposed to be. Alright. So you have a product here that is coming up for sale, about $4.8 million. It's asset value, and the plaintiff is asking for $5 million over here. Okay, this is the property I was working on. If I click on that property appraisal, you can see that this is the property here. Somebody bought it for $6 million, fucked up everything, really make a mistake. Somebody bought it for $2 million here and probably sold it for $6 million with, I don't know what, they did a fraud or something like that, because I underwrote this deal and there is no way it's worth $6 million. But I approached the plaintiff, okay, as I did with the other case, and I'm in negotiation with him, and right now I'm about $3.5 million to buy this property, and I'm gonna show you how I did it. As you can see, PS funding is foreclosing here. So I did the same exact thing of what I just showed you before. I went to PS funding, and if I look for them, like for PS funding, and here you go. Here you go. This is how it started. Good morning, my name is Liran Koren. I'm the co-founder of Luxury Property Management Care. We manage multiple buildings in the area. We have stabilized several properties that were in the same or worse condition, basically turning a liability into an asset. One of our clients has shown interest in the property and you're foreclosing for your clients, and I'm wondering if they would be interested to sell the property after they get title to the auction. So very, very simple. And now I'm negotiation. Why? Because I have my company and I have my credentials and I have my reputations and I have the right paperwork and I have the right proof of funds. So this is why I approached that person. As you can see, the client, he told me, the attorney tells me that the client already sold the loan to somebody named Richard Stoffer that represent Land South. So I already know that they don't even own the note. The note was sold. It was transferred. So what did I do? I contact Richard. And Richard told me the same. My client sold the loan some times ago to Land South SB. And I've included him in the email. And now I'm approaching Richard. And this is how I approach Richard. Good morning, Richard. I understand from Ronald that your client, Land South, purchased the note. I wonder if your client is open for collaboration on asset, or interest in selling, assigning their position. I would really appreciate your response. Very, very simple, and this is how it goes. And this is how I start to kind of like create relationship with the relevant party that are related to the case, which is very important. As you can see, he answers me, I'm honestly not sure, but if you have an offer, please feel free to make it. Okay? So this is a 96 units that I'm making an offer on, and I was trying to play low ball here. I was telling that we're looking to place a bid of $2 million on this property, and we're gonna send an official's offer, and we just want to know if the plaintiff, before we move forward, we just want to know if his clients is interested in selling, okay? If they have the intention of selling, so we don't gonna waste our time. And then I'm gonna have to push it if I know they wanna sell it and not maybe assume it for themselves or sell it to another investor they know, then I know I can play my game and I can continue and not waste my time. I don't wanna waste my time if the seller has different intentions. So as you can see here, sorry Liran, my client is not interested in an offer that low. So I came in and I said, okay, what are you asking? What is they asking? Give me some number. So they came up and say, here you go, well north of $3 million. So already from $5 million, from $4 million, I went to north of $3 million, and now I'm in the middle of $3.5 million. I'm negotiating on that deal, and I'm checking to see exactly what needs to be done in order for me to make it an asset. And as you can see, I don't know if I did also included a complaint here. As I showed you before earlier in this movie, how I open it on the docket. Then I also want to tell you here the story of that foreclosure. And you can see this is a commercial foreclosure, and they're telling you everything. They're telling you the rents, the amount of rents, the renovations, what needs to be repaired. They have a lot of reports here that helps you understand, the condition and the opportunity, most importantly here, with this property. And when I read it, I was like, I gotta buy this property because they have so many problems. It was a fraud. They don't really know how to manage properties. I'm a management company and I can do such a better job. So they really need me, and they really need the value that I can bring into that deal, and not just my money. Because eventually you need to stabilize this property and you need to overcome any liens or any code enforcements that were occurred. And as you can see, there are damages, there are all kinds of course of actions. They also appointed a receiver to receive the rent, right? When you buy the note, you can also receive the rent. So you can actually make income when buying notes. And you can see they're going to telling the terms. But what I want to tell you is that you can see the condition. You can see there is a pile up garbage, trash. There is a lot of issue with health hazard. And there is all kind of things that need to be taken care of. You see holes and cracks, unsafe and unsound kitchen cabinets, failure to properly secure flooring, improperly repaired constructed floors. You have a lot of issues with renovations. There was a big problem here that needs to be resolved, talking about 96 units, but somebody who bought this for $6 million loan, and after 1 year they just default because it was too much money. You see the problem? When you get too much excited or you do something just for the sake of getting into the deal, you don't take into consideration of bringing up your value and actually managing it, and you don't check the numbers correctly, and you don't make sure the numbers actually flow the way they should flow. This is where you end up. You end up in foreclosure, and I'm the one who's gonna buy it. I'm the one who's gonna come up with $3 or $3.5 million, and I'm the one who's gonna buy it. And even if the lender is gonna get title to it, he's gonna get title at the auction, I'm gonna chase after that lender to buy it from him directly. I'm gonna insure my title as well. So you can create an opportunity out of thin air as long as you understand the processes, and as long as you're consistent, and as long as you're trying to convey your value. And I know it's almost impossible to replicate success nowadays because there is not a lot of inventory and everybody wants it, and that's scary. Again, I'm reminding you guys, okay, 2005, 6, 7, market was coming up, was going up, but the background, it was actually a distressed market. People were making mistakes. People were not real estate investors. People were not buying assets. They were buying liabilities. And once you get into too much liability, somebody like me at the auction is going to wait and he's going to buy your judgment for half a price or maybe 70% less. Guys, it's been a pleasure. If you like my presentation, please make sure to subscribe to my channel, click the like button, comment on something. Okay, let's engage. And I wish you all the best. Happy investing, and I'll see you in the next clip when I'm going to show you more interesting stuff and how you can create wealth using the property appraisal, buying estates, probates, and all kind of hidden opportunities that nobody knows about.